All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today we're taking a super deep dive into what is, without a doubt, the absolute most hardworking, yet somehow the most overlooked machine in your entire house. We're going to demystify heat pump maintenance and figure out exactly how to protect one of the biggest investments in your home.
But hey, before we get into the nuts and bolts of it all, I've got to ask you a quick question. What works 365 days a year, takes absolutely 0 days off, and practically dictates your monthly energy budget? Seriously, think about it for a second. I mean, your standard AC, it gets to hibernate for basically half the year. Your gas furnace takes the whole summer off just to collect dust. But your heat pump? Yeah, that thing never, ever gets a vacation.
So let's get into Section 1, Meet Your 365 Days Superhero. Because your heat pump is running nonstop, literally day in and day out, it really helps to understand what it's actually doing down there. It's what you'd call a heat mover. Unlike, say, a space heater or a gas furnace that literally burns fuel to make heat from scratch, a heat pump doesn't do that at all. It just collects existing heat from one spot and moves it somewhere else. And to pull off this little magic trick, it relies on a special liquid, a refrigerant or a cooling gas. So the key takeaway here, it's moving energy, not creating it.
Moving right along to Section 2, How the Heat Sponge Works.
Okay, to really picture this, I want you to imagine your heat pump as this giant, heavy-duty sponge. During summer mode, it acts exactly like a sponge, just soaking up all that nasty, unwanted heat and humidity from inside your house. It literally carries it away and squeezes it out into the yard, leaving your living room nice and cool. But here's the crazy part. In winter mode, a valve flips and the whole process goes in reverse. Even when it feels absolutely freezing outside, there's actually still warm thermal energy in the air. The heat pump acts like a sponge again, soaking up whatever remaining warmth is out there, dragging it indoors and squeezing it right into your home to keep you totally cozy.
Which brings us to Section 3, the cost of doing nothing. Because, well, what happens when that giant sponge gets completely caked in dirt? You guessed it, it stops absorbing.
See, when dust just sits there building up on the coils or something blocks the airflow, the system just can't absorb or release heat efficiently anymore. It ends up having to work twice as hard just to push air around your house. Because of this, a dirty heat pump can actually suck up 25% more energy to heat or cool your home. 25%! That is a massive, totally unnecessary hit to your monthly budget. And the worst part, you're not even getting any extra comfort for all that money you're throwing away.
And listen, the inflated energy bill isn't even the biggest risk here. There's a saying in the industry. A heat pump that is continuously strained will break down years earlier than it should. Over time, if you're forcing this dirty machine to just grind away, major parts, like the compressor, they're going to overheat and totally fail. By skipping a simple, let's say $75 to $200 tune-up, you are basically setting yourself up for a massive surprise repair bill of around $2,000. And, that always happens on the hottest day of July or the absolute coldest night of January, right when you literally need it the most.
All right, let's look at Section 4, your DIY maintenance checklist.
So there are actually 4 super simple things you can do yourself right now. First, and honestly this is the big one, check your air filter every single month and change or wash it every 1 to 3 months. A clogged air filter is actually the #1 cause of heat pump failures, no joke. Second, just take a walk outside and clear the space around your outdoor unit. Give it about 2 feet of breathing room. Clear away the leaves, dirt, grass clippings, snow, whatever. Third, double-check that your indoor vents aren't accidentally blocked by a sofa, some heavy blinds, or a rug. And finally, just take a quick peek at the condensate drain to make sure water is flowing out freely. That's going to save you from some serious mold or water damage inside your walls.
Next up is Section 5, Seasonal Care, and when to call the pros.
So, the way you care for this thing obviously changes with the seasons. In the spring and summer, you can actually shut off the power and just gently hose down the outdoor coil to wash away all that winter mud and spring pollen. Oh, and keep your thermostat set to a steady temp. Now in autumn and winter, your main job is just keeping heavy snow and ice off the unit and making sure it's raised off the ground. And hey, quick fun fact, if you look out the window in the dead of winter and see steam billowing out of your outdoor unit, do not panic. Seriously, it's not on fire. It's just running a completely normal automatic defrost cycle to melt the ice off its coils.
Now, while DIY is great for everyday upkeep, twice a year you really gotta let the pros do the heavy lifting. A professional tune-up involves some intense stuff we just can't do. They run a strict check on the refrigerant levels to make sure they match the exact factory specs. They also use special chemicals for a deep coil clean.
They tighten electrical bonds for safety, calibrate the thermostat, and inspect the whole blower assembly. And please remember, messing with high-voltage wiring or chemical gases yourself isn't just dangerous, it can literally void your manufacturer's guarantee right on the spot. Just don't do it.
That being said, there are definitely times you shouldn't just wait around for your next scheduled tune-up. If you notice any of these massive red flags, you need to call a pro immediately. We're talking grinding, squealing, or rattling noises, weak airflow, the system blowing cold air when you actually have the heat on, any kind of burning, musty, or moldy smells, a crazy sudden spike in your energy bill, your circuit breaker constantly tripping, or pooling water around your indoor unit. These symptoms mean your system is in serious distress and it needs emergency triage before the whole shebang shuts down for good.
Bringing it all home, let's look at Section 6, maximizing your heat pump's lifespan. Ultimately, the real financial payoff here comes down to sheer survival. Look at this. A neglected, overlooked heat pump is going to basically burn itself out in just 7 to 10 years. That means you're buying a massively expensive replacement way sooner than you should. But a well-maintained system, one where you actually change the filters and get those biannual tune-ups, that machine can easily push 12 to 15 years, if not longer. You are literally buying yourself half a decade of free comfort just by keeping the poor thing clean.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I'm going to leave you with this to chew on. Are you treating your home's most expensive, hard-working superhero with the care it actually deserves? Or are you just waiting for the absolute hottest day of the year to find out it's completely failed? Don't let a tiny oversight turn into a $2,000 disaster. Do yourself a favor right now. Go check that air filter, clear the junk away from your outdoor unit, and book that tune-up today. Trust me, your wallet and your sanity will thank you.